Hello everyone and welcome back to another amazing chess game from the history of chess from 1948. And in this chess game we have another a must-see chess game by the great, fierce attacker Rashid Nezhmetdinov. And in this chess game his opponent is Baskin. So Nezhmetdinov has the white pieces and this is also a must-see chess game by Nezhmetdinov. So Nezhmetdinov starts the game with pushing the e-pawn, e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to c4, and we have the Italian game. Bishop to c5, Nezhmetdinov castled, knight to f6, and it is white to move. And already at this moment of this chess game, Nezhmetdinov played a pretty interesting move. Well, in this position, we know that this is actually a pretty common position in most of the chess games. We see this position. So maybe c3 and d3 is the most common moves in this position. Maybe d3 or c3. But Nezhmetdinov played surprising d4. What is this move? Well, this is the Deutz Gambit, also known as the Koltonovsky Gambit, who was a pretty strong chess player and he popularized this gambit. His name was Ch Koltonovsky and this is also known as the Deutz Gambit. So in this position, white is basically sacrificing his pawn in the center. But why? For the quick activity and for aggressively placing his pieces and for the tempo. So already Nezhmetdinov surprised his opponent and black actually can easily go wrong in this position, but Nezhmetdinov's opponent captured with the most reasonable way. Bishop takes on d4, but let's take it back. In this position, if capturing back with the pawn, that is the max range attack, pushing the pawn, and that is going to lead into the max range attack, two knights defense. But okay, capturing back with the pawn is also playable, but maybe black didn't want e5. But if capturing back with the knight, that is actually losing for black. That is not even accepting the gambit because white is going to get back the e-pawn and also targeting on f7. So, of course, you also have to defend the e-pawn, and with this move, black is defending everything. Bishop takes on d4. Knight takes on d4. Knight takes on d4, and black says, I want to hold my pawn. But now Nezhmetdinov can push the f-pawn, so he get rid of his knight on f3 with capturing on d4, so he can push the f-pawn and he is undermining the knight. Of course, black can take, because then white is going to capture the knight. So d6, f takes on e6, d takes on e5, both defending the pawn and defending the knight. Okay, so this was the Deutz Gambit. Bishop to g5, pinning the knight. But as you can see, Nezhmetdinov has aggressively placed all of his pieces and he is extremely active and aggressive already at a very early stage of this chess game. So pinning the knight, c6, queen up, bishop out, knight out. So Nezhmetdinov is also pretty well developed. b5, attacking the bishop, queen to g3, not defending the bishop, but in this position Nezhmetdinov is simply threatening to capture the knight and then capturing the bishop. So we have queen to b6, and in this position black is unpinning the knight and at the same time he is threatening to play maybe knight to e2, discovered check, double check, also attacking the queen. So in this position, Nezhmetdinov played bishop to e3, no reverse gear. Rashid is going back only for this position. So there is no discover attacks. But at the same time, this is also an interesting moment of this chess game. He is leaving his bishop on c4. But not capturing the bishop, we have queen to c5. Let's take it back. What happens if capturing the bishop, then queen takes on e5? This is check. And this is a deadly check, so blocking with the bishop and then bishop takes on d4. And white is doing excellent. So in this position, defending the very important e-pawn, which is a liability for black. And now, in this position, Nezhmetdinov played this incredible move, bishop to d5. Blocking the queen and body blocking with the bishop. So he can still capture the e-pawn, but black didn't accept it, the sacrifice, black castled. So in this position, Nezhmetdinov is blocking the queen, and what happens if capturing the bishop? Then this time queen takes on e5. This is check. You can't block with the knight on d4 because then bishop takes queen. So let's say queen to e7, but then capturing the knight, and this is losing for black. White is doing perfect in this position. So in this position, black castled, not allowing queen takes pawn, check. Okay, so the game continued. What would you do in this position? Well, the bishop is under attack, maybe capturing the pawn comes to mind. What now? Well, in this position, Nezhmetdinov sacrificed the exchange. Rook takes on f6. What a move. Capturing the rook and then capturing the bishop, this is check. But now blocking the exchange sacrifice accepted, and now black is blocking the queen. And what would you do again? Both the queen and the bishop is under attack. Well, the solution is very simple. Capturing the pawn, knight takes on f5. But now this time capturing the queen, bishop takes on c5. Capturing the bishop, capturing the knight. And the smoke has cleared. White has the bishop and the knight for the rook. And actually white is doing very well. So Nezhmetdinov is attacking the b-pawn and the a-pawn, so defending king to f2, rook over, pawn up. And how to defend? Threatening to take the b-pawn. B takes on a4, rook takes on a4, defending the a-pawn, rook to b4 check, king down, and attacking the bishop. Where is the bishop going? Maybe bishop to e7 comes to mind. Well, in this position, Nezhmetdinov played rook to b6, check, sacrificing the bishop and dragging the king down into a deep, dark forest. Well, the sacrifice was accepted, but this was a mistake. Actually, in this position, king to c7 was the better move, but then losing the a-pawn or rook to f6 is actually even better, attacking the pawn and attacking again. So rook to d7, this time back, rook takes on a6, and black is losing. So in this position, Nezhmetdinov is sacrificing the bishop. King takes on c5, but dragging the king down. Check. Knight a4 check. Only move. Well, actually king to d4 is also a possibility, but then rook to b4 is a very unfortunate checkmate for black. His own pawn is blocking the king. Funny, isn't it? So check, check, king down. But in this position, the king is in the mating net. What would you do? Well, Nezhmetdinov pushed the pawn, king to d4, and then rook to b4. Checkmate. A fantastic and a brutal attacking chess game by Nezhmetdinov. Hard, fast, dominating and dictating chess by Nezhmetdinov from start to finish. Incredible chess. I want to get back to this position when he played the Deutz Gambit, which is very interesting and uncommon. So this is a pretty common position even today. So white usually plays c3, the piano variation, or d3 after castling, sorry. And not c3 or d3. Nezhmetdinov played d4. Immediately in the beginning of this chess game, he is sacrificing a pawn. attacking the center, a surprising move. And white actually has a very flexible position, and you can also try this in your own chess games. Don't forget that your opponent can go pretty wrong in this variation, so you can study the Deutz Gambit or the Koltonovsky Gambit. Koltonovsky, by the way, Georges Koltonovsky, was a very strong chess master, a grandmaster, and he also had the record for playing most blindfolded chess games in just one event. He played 34 blindfolded chess games simultaneously, and that's a record. I don't know if anyone broke that record, but once he did that record, which was amazing, a world record, that was actually front news worldwide. So, okay, Nezhmetdinov checkmated his opponent at move 27. And by the way, Rashid Nezhmetdinov was the chess teacher of Mikhail Tal. So we can see where did Mikhail Tal get those amazing attacking ideas. Who inspired Mikhail Tal? We know who inspired Mikhail Tal. That's Nezhmetdinov. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye.